a minute. I'm going to go ahead and start and get people checked in. So I see I have a Rob Globkey. If you could take yourself off mute, let me know if I'm pronouncing your name correctly, and tell me who you're representing here today.
Yeah, my name is Ron Globkey. I'm with Sensible Home Design. I'm representing the homeowners.
Okay, great. Welcome. I see that we have Wes Menzel from the zoning department joining us. Welcome, Wes. And then someone under Liz S.
That's the homeowner.
Me, the homeowner.
Got it. Okay. And is that Elizabeth Tolliver?
Yes.
Okay.
My wife
Welcome.
and my wife Jennifer Hilligrass here as well.
Okay, great. Welcome to both of you. Do either of you intend on providing any testimony here today?
Not unless we need to.
Yes.
Okay. Well, if you do, you don't have to. It's up to you and to Mr. Globkey. But if you do, I'd ask that you would at that time turn on your camera if you can. But again, that's only if you want to provide testimony. I just like to give people a heads up so that they know that they may be on camera shortly. So I'll go ahead and get started. I need to read through our hearing script. This will basically just cover the procedure for the hearing, and then we'll jump right into it. So this is the December 21st, 2022 session of the Zoning Hearing Examiner docket. My name is David Sturkey. I'm the Zoning Hearing Examiner for the state of Cincinnati. The case before us today is case number ZH20220173. The purpose of this hearing is to allow applicants and opposing parties to testify and to offer and refute evidence and testimony. This hearing will follow the rules found in the zoning code and supplemental rules of the Zoning Hearing Examiner. All testimony and evidence that an applicant or any opposing party wishes to offer must be presented at this hearing. The hearing will proceed as follows. The applicant, the applicant's attorney, or the applicant's agent will first present the applicant's case. If there were anyone here from the public, they would have an opportunity to speak after the applicant had presented its case. I'll give the zoning plans examiner, Wes Menzel, an opportunity to provide any testimony if he would like, in addition to his staff report. In the event that any party testifies or offers argument in opposition to this application, the applicant will have an opportunity to rebut that testimony. And then finally, the applicant will have an opportunity to make any closing statements. After all presentations have been made, I will close the hearing. Decisions may be expected within 2 weeks. So for our purposes here today, again, I will give Mr. Globkey an opportunity to tell me about this project, background, why I should grant the relief that's requested. The owners, if they would like, can provide any testimony in addition to that. Really, however you want to orient your presentation is fine with me. I just, again, want to know more about the project and why I should grant the relief. I'll go to Wes. I'll let you guys respond to anything Wes said, make any closing statements, and then we'll close the hearing. I may limit or exclude any testimony that I deem irrelevant or outside the scope of the application being considered. I may interrupt any speaker to ask questions or to make any comments. I may also refuse to consider hearsay testimony or documents. That's generally evidence you want to introduce that consists of statements made by someone who is not present at this hearing. In the event of any technical difficulties with the Zoom technology, I'll do my best to troubleshoot those on the fly, but to the extent there's some defect that prevents us from meaningfully going forward with this hearing, I may continue or postpone the hearing at my discretion. Okay, last thing to do is just swear in all of our witnesses. So again, if you intend on providing any testimony here today, making any comments, asking any questions, really doing anything other than just strictly observing, then you need to be sworn in. If you don't know yet if you're going to say anything, I can swear you in before you speak later. But if you know you would like to provide something, I'd like to swear everyone in collectively right now. So if that's you, if you could raise your right hand, I need everyone to answer out loud. Do you solemnly swear the testimony you shall give will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes.
I do.
Yes.
Okay, thanks everyone. All right, so Mr. Globkey, are you going to take the lead then on the presentation?
I can. I haven't done that before, but I will. Really, I have a written statement that was submitted in response to some of the requests by the zoning department. What we have here is a new single-family home that we're building on 3654 Clifton Avenue. And it's on a vacant lot that's currently vacant. And the requests for variances are because of some restrictions on setbacks, side setbacks, rear setbacks. And I guess the best thing for me to do would be to read the, I didn't know I was gonna read it right away, but I can go ahead and read this. What we have is a side setback that is 10.5 feet on both sides, and front setback that's 68 feet, and a rear setback that is I can't even, 113 feet. And the requirements that you're requesting is 18 feet on the left side, 21 feet on the right side, and 254 feet, I think it was, for on the rears. So, and also that this is on a hillside overlay, and we were requesting that. So what we did is we did a response to each of the zoning requests. And this site is on a hillside overlay and requires an averaging abutting property structures to determine the required setbacks. Limits to this cut total 8 foot and the height of 3-dimensional building envelope. The overall height of the cut has been set at a maximum of 8 foot. That's our response to this. And the overall slope of the lot averages is 5.84 degrees and 8.07 degrees, depending on how the average is determined. The percentage of slope is between 10.24, and thus it is less than the 20% hillside overlay district requirements. The average is based on the house to the right of the property and the place of worship on the left. Both of these lots are very wide and deep compared to this lot. We actually looked at some properties that are a couple houses down, or actually to the left side of the place of worship that's next to us. And we thought maybe this was more of a better comparison, and we've actually added that to this. And we set those averages up down below there. You can see them. If you want me to read them, I can. And I made a response to each one of those requirements using those variances, but we're still requesting the variances based on the 2 lots beside us. The one on the left is very deep. It's a church or a place of worship. And the one on the right is also very deep, and our lot is more comparable to these other lots that we proposed looking at.
Gotcha. Okay. Sorry, please continue.
Oh, I'm fine. I can read through it if you want me to, or we did submit that proposal, and I can leave it at that. And if there's any questions, I can answer better.
Sure. So the document you're referring to is the variance request. It's titled variance request at the top.
It was actually a statement. It was a statement that was attached to the variance request, I think. To Wes. I don't have a copy of what you've been submitted to you.
Okay. Let me just take a minute, make sure I'm looking at the right thing here.
Wes would be able to answer that. Did we submit that statement?
I did submit it, Ron. It was in.
You did submit it or did not?
I did.
Okay.
Okay. Let me just look through the files here really quickly. I'm sure that we have it.
Statement with sensible home design on the letterhead. If not, I would like to submit it now.
Wes, is this in project docs?
I mean, I just uploaded whatever was submitted, but I see there's some statements in red
Yes.
that outline, comments that the applicants made on this page.
Okay, yeah, is that the document you're referring to?
I didn't receive a copy of that back from you, but I did make statements like that. Yes.
Did you have a separate document, Mr. Golubke, that you submitted?
Yeah, I submitted a separate document that I was reading from.
I don't know that I have that.
100%. I brought it down. It was a part of like a, 20-page packet of information. I sat with the person at the desk and we went through every single thing, and 1000%.
That's okay.
1000%.
I found it.
We'll get it. We'll find it.
I found it.
Look, let me show you guys what I'm looking at.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I found it, David.
Okay. Yeah, is it this? Can you guys see my screen? You see
Yeah.
my cursor?
Yeah, yes, that's it. That's exactly what I was reading from.
This is the document. Okay, gotcha.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah. We have this. Yeah. Okay.
Panicked.
Yeah. Yeah, that's always something that we could have submitted. We could have gotten into the record now.
So
Okay.
it's already in the record, and that's basically our statement of what the variances that we're looking for, and in the proposal.
So let me just try to clarify a few things. One is I have in Wes's staff report that you're asking for a cumulative cut and fill of 14 feet to complete the project, but it looks like, am I reading this right, that you're actually only asking for a maximum of 8 feet cut?
David,
I don't see where
I added in the cut for the driveway. So the actual cut for the basement is only 7 feet or something like that. So
Okay.
the cumulative amount is the 14 from the top down to the slab. From the top being the driveway at the property line.
Got it.
So I
Okay.
kind of, tweaked the details on the specifics for each parameter based on reviewing everything.
Okay. Okay. So across the property, we're saying there's going to be a total cumulative cut into the hill of 14 feet if you add the driveway and the actual foundation for the home.
Yes, I mean the code language says cumulative, so it's really kind of that's how we interpret that from the top, even though the maximum direct cut at any one spot is 7 feet. And that's
Gotcha.
where the foundation wall is on the front facade. Like that would be the deepest cut at that spot. But the overall difference between the slab of the basement and the driveway is 14 feet. That's kind of how we measure that.
that would be
It's
at
a little-
the top of the driveway at the road,
Right. It's a little,
and it's kind of missed because there is a steep drop off right there at the beginning, and then it flattens out for quite a ways and then drops off.
Gotcha. Okay. Is there an actual
That's-
cut? Is there a cut being made into the hillside for the driveway?
no, well, I mean, they're going to grade and put gravel in and then pave it. So they're going to excavate, whatever, a foot down for that base and concrete.
Mhm.
But, that's how we measure the total cumulative cut.
Got it. Okay.
It's just like a misconception there a little bit. Not that he's wrong or anything. It's just it's not as bad as it makes it sound.
Right. And
Because-
yeah, you're not the first person to say that. This is a little bit confusing how we do it. So to the applicants. So.
Okay. Let's see. This lot looks really familiar. Was there a previous, Wes, do you know if there was a previous zoning approval on this? I feel like there was.
I
Maybe
think
the owners know about that, but I feel like I approved a different house on this lot
I
for
think
similar
you
relief.
did a couple years ago. Let me.
Yeah, I think it was last year. Okay. I guess that's not totally relevant. Other than I may have granted similar relief, so I'll be sure to check that before I write the decision. But I think I granted similar setback relief because of the depth of the abutting lots and the averaging. So let me ask you this, Mr. Globke, would it be possible under the constraints of the hillside averaging to construct a home that would be economically feasible and functional?
Under the current constraints,
Yeah, under the current setback constraints that you're asking for relief
it
from.
would not be possible. For one, the rear setback is larger than the lot itself. So requirement because of the size of the two lots beside it. So if you put the rear setback, you don't have a lot to build it all. And the two side setbacks constrain it so much that it would be a house that wouldn't be a proper proportion to the neighborhood, and would not necessarily add a aesthetic value to the neighborhood, if you want to put it in a simple term. So I think putting in something that would be comparable to the houses next to it and continue a similar value structure to the neighborhood, it would be something that not required, be necessary to do that.
Gotcha. Okay, so you think that granting this relief will allow the home to be built in a way that matches the character of the surrounding neighborhood and is more compatible?
Yes.
Got it. And will there be any cliff-like vertical slopes created as a result of any cuts in the hill?
Absolutely not. There's actually, I think there's been some prior structures on the property, and we're following the current top topo, except for the very front of the basement where you kind of cut into the hill, and everything else follows existing layout. There's with a walkout on the back of the house and all that stuff. Basically,
Gotcha.
there.
Okay.
House has been designed specifically for this lot.
Got it. Will it be necessary to remove any existing mature vegetation to construct the home?
There are very few big trees that need to be gone or taken out. I think it's like 3 or 4. We are doing a lead program to build this, so we're maintaining absolutely as many as we possibly can. And most of the vegetation is at the very rear of the lot, and we're not going to touch that. And a few trees in the front that we
Okay. Great. I think that's all the questions I have now. Wes, did you want to add anything else in addition to your staff report?
I'll just pick up a little bit on what Mr. Glopke just said about the proportions and such. And I was just looking at the design, and I know they have a garage on the side, and then which I think the house is wider than, like, a lot of the houses that we review in the hillside are narrow lots, and they have narrow houses with garage in the front. In this case, the house is wider, and that actually reduces the depth of the cut, like going downhill. Like they're not going as far as what you might normally see in Columbia Tusculum. So I think that's another angle on the design. And of course the abutting lots are wider and longer than the subject property, which creates these larger setback requirements, which are makes it hard to build a house. And then, as I mentioned earlier, the topography, it's actually a fairly gentle sloping lot. So as I said, the direct cut in any one spot is 7 feet, and the slope is generally shallower than a lot of the other hillsides we see. So they have a reasonable design for the context. Thanks.
Okay, thank you. All right, the owners to Ms. Tolliver and Telegraph, did you want to add anything?
Just a couple things real quick. Our children go to Fairview School, which is literally right across the street from the lot. They're excited about that, and I think, especially following the lead, we're doing everything we can to do this build correctly and environmentally safe, and it's not cheap to do that. So we're hoping to get this variance. We entertain our family. We're the gathering spot for all of our family on both sides. So this would be a perfect place for us to make this happen.
Okay, great. Thanks. Only last question I have is that I've seen on one of the older drawings that there was a circle drive. Is that still proposed?
No, it is not proposed. We at one time had thought about it. I didn't realize in the zoning that it would be done, and so we omitted that.
Okay.
From the plans.
Okay. Anything else in closing or otherwise before we adjourn here today?
No, sir.
That's all I have.
Okay, great. Let's leave it at that. I've had a chance to review the application materials, review the staff report. Like I said, I'm confident that I have actually approved similar zoning relief on this lot last year. So based on all of that, based on the testimony that I've heard here today, I'm going to approve the application.
Awesome. Thank you.
Yeah, of course. I need to formalize that approval in a written decision. That, as I mentioned earlier, just based on the queue that I have right now and the timing of the year, I anticipate I'll have to in the first week of January. And so just about a couple weeks. I'll do everything I can to get that out to you as soon as possible. But I think that's probably a realistic expectation of when you'll receive that. As soon as you have that, what I do is I put it into a PDF. I email it to everybody who's in the hearing. As soon as you have a copy, you can work with Wes. Wes can okay the permitting, and you guys can move forward. Let's see. If you have any questions in the meantime, feel free to reach out to myself or to Wes, or if you'd like a status update on the decision, where I'm at with it, please feel free to reach out to me directly, and I'll let you know where I'm at. Any questions about any of that right now?
Nope.
No, thank you, though. Thank you.
Okay. All right, great. Well, thank you all again for your time, your testimony here today. It looks like a great project. Good luck. Hope you enjoy the home, and have a wonderful day.